set, you
why
can't have a separate set of rules.
That's why the chance of putting something up at the last minute is gonna be tough. You could go out there and say, you may not be on the ballot, but all of a sudden, if they elect Jim beyond everybody, and Jim says, hey, just vote for me.
It's gonna come down to Bernie and that governor.
Yeah.
I think it could very well on the Democratic side come down to Bernie and the governor from Maryland.
Nobody knows.
What about Biden jumping in when that happens?
I don't think he'll have time. I think they're right.
Take your coffee deal.
I thought they were already beyond that. I thought they already had that out.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
There's a series of time dates on some of the stuff.
It doesn't really matter anyway, because you're free to write in.
Well, and yeah.
Well, at the convention, they can draft someone that's not actually officially a candidate.
Then I guess it'd be pretty nasty.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they call that a draft.
Well, if you don't get, see, I think they only hold the delegates for, what is it, 2 terms? 2 runs or something like that?
What's that? 2 ballots.
2 ballots, is it, on the,
At a convention.
if they don't have somebody, they can go off on somebody else?
Oh, any convention,
Oh,
you're talking
You're
about
free,
the political ones?
they're obligated.
Oh,
to
shit,
do
they'll
so.
take it,
Yeah.
say, they'll keep balloting, and then the chair most likely will say, well, hell, we're getting no place, you guys better get together. So they'll stop the damn thing, and then the boys will talk to everybody, you know, and back and forth.
But don't they have like 2 or 3 runs that they have?
How does
to
it
vote
work
for
when you
whoever they
draft
decide?
someone that's not
If you
officially a candidate?
pledged your,
Well, that guy
What do they
is
call that?
nominated by one of the, gotta be
if you pledge your
nominated by one
support,
of the
then
delegates.
you've got a delegate. So
Delegates,
those
you know,
delegates pledge their
gets up
support.
and he nominates,
Then
he
if
gets a second.
not enough other people,
And then they start
as they start moving the
voting.
pledges
That's
around,
all.
and populace grow, and your man dies out, what happens to your pledge? You're free.
Well,
Takes-
usually
takes
they're
2 or 3
released,
weeks.
yeah, that's what I was
If he
thinking.
Yes, that
decides
is
to
what they-
run,
And then
If Hillary
you'll
gets
hear,
a jam.
you'll hear someone get up there and say.
What'll
this is
happen
my
on
vote,
that,
this is
because that's,
That's right.
he's gotta get on the primary.
There's gotta be several levels up as
And,
far as.
Well,
and every
If
state.
it goes through the
has-
first time.
He's run out of time for that.
But
Not in some of the states.
third, fourth, fifth
that
attempt,
They
you
have
still have
a
to
ballot,
do it.
because every state, I'm
Well,
sure.
you know, they got
like,
fancy names for it,
if a
but
guy gets
truthfully,
killed,
we're sitting
it's
around
on the
here,
ballot.
and we had a vote, and there were 3 guys, and we're trying to make a choice on somebody, and you're split so bad, then you'll take the low guy, maybe ask him if he wants to step out, or one of the others want to step out. Now both people who are voting him are free, it's the same thing, just big fancy words.
Party,
More money.
if it's a Democrat or a Republican.
That confuses the whole thing.
Put somebody in.
What can you
give
do
them
for
$5
me?
have
Deliver
it
you
best
50
friend.
delegates.
Okay.
So if they took Hillary off, and she couldn't run, then Biden could
Fun,
get into
fun,
it, because I'm sure that.
Fun election, I just love Trump.
In damn near every state there's
I
got.
kinda like Bernie in a way, even though I don't
Yeah.
agree with him on a lot of stuff, because he's just.
That would put them
saying
on the
what he
ballot.
said.
But as far as the
Look, I
damn
don't like it.
convention, all they
I'll
gotta
find
have
out.
is a nomination.
Yeah, kinda like Trump, in a way, yeah.
The conventions.
No, he's running Hillary against Hillary.
Against Hillary, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, they're, I think in June they have.
I don't start focusing on that stuff until we actually get down to
so
some.
they could
I love
nominate
that
there.
thing, when you got one of the commentators asked Hillary.
And if the convention
What's the difference
voted for
between a
it, you
Democrat
could
and a
nominate.
socialist?
But we'll get it all
Because
down.
all of these primary states, including our own,
Well,
guys
it's a dumb
that
question
get
in the first
elected.
place.
Oh, that's a pretty good question.
It's a stereotype question.
Agree to
It's meant to
support
stereotype, it's not
so when they
meant
go
to be
to the
accurate,
convention,
but he's trying to
they vote
play the
one
She
game.
didn't have an answer
They're
prepared
done.
for it, which kinda surprised me.
Being
Well, she might have
obligated
expected,
to it.
probably thinks it's a stupid question.
And they can normally vote.
So
for
she's
it.
trying to figure out what's the proper terminology
Yeah,
to
here we
respond
go.
to that.
Yeah.
And,
The
so
political
get
parties
feedback.
may tell them you gotta vote twice.
You side, you
I mean, they
admire
can do
that,
that.
people say,
Most
that's like the other
of
guy you were
If
saying,
they
well, I have
cast
to
the
think about that.
ballot,
How would I
They-
answer that?
They're
Well,
officially released from their.
It's a good
Now,
answer.
Trump, how would he
After
answer?
they, after
Blah, blah,
you
blah, blah,
voted
Well, Trump
once
would
for
just
the
run off the ballot.
candidate.
Yeah,
And get away with it.
And
Said you would
Yeah.
vote for, you know, or on the ticket to vote for. After
That's
you've done
never
that,
gonna
then you can vote for anybody
Yeah.
else in those damn.
They've tried that
Who want our
before.
stupidity
They
government
tried
out?
that
That's
before.
when the
They're trying to
smoke-filled room takes over.
create a law
Yeah.
to sue the gun manufacturers because Jim goes out and shoots his neighbor dog or something.
Right.
And that could happen
You'd have to-
anytime.
you'd have to be able to
In other words,
Sue somebody for using a crowbar on that neighbor's dog, I mean, it's the same.
Yeah,
You know, it's-
right.
Your car killed my brother, I need to,
to.
sue the
The only
Ford
guy
or
that
GM
we're
or
allowing
whatever, for hundreds of millions of dollars. Because it was your vehicle.
No, only if the vehicle has some failure. The standards are
I
already set.
love how they said that GM, I think it was, it came out and said that you don't own your car, you license it through us because the software that runs that car is ours, so technically you just license your car from us. You don't actually own
July
it.
25th and the 28th.
They're trying to cite, that copyright crap.
And one's a Republican.
So I'm thinking, well, if it's not owned by us, if somebody hits it with you, we can sue you for owning that
July
vehicle.
18th
Right.
to the 21st.
Well, that's.
Now, is that
No, that's an extreme statement.
I know,
You got
but
it
you
in
know,
court.
some court might yell,
Can't support it.
In Ohio.
You'd have
I don't know.
to, if you were to support that, you'd be
Yeah,
able to
one's
go down that road where the gun
Republican,
manufacturer is responsible
Cincinnati,
for
and
what happens to his
Democrats
gun.
Oh, yeah.
Hammerman.
Your car, you know, hammer
Republicans in
manufacturer, if I kill somebody with a
Cleveland,
hammer,
yeah,
it's the hammer's fault.
Democrats.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's time to sue Craftsman.
Philadelphia.
Yep.
Philadelphia, okay.
Of course, Sears doesn't have much money left.
I'm surprised it's that
What's
late.
in there?
I am too. I thought it'd be
Like radio,
a-
it's good like Radio Shack, so more of the same.
Well, actually, Sears, Sears bought out.
Normally.
Cambridge is now closing a whole bunch of
The
places.
governor,
So is Walmart.
he's,
Walmart's closing.
Yeah, well, actually, what a thing is Walmart's doing with their closing a whole bunch of centers. They're not big huge stores, they're like these small neighborhood stores that they bought in a whole bunch of like 10 years ago
Yep.
to bring like fresh produce to these local neighborhood ones. They're just little teeny, like
There before the
like
national.
B&D, the size of like
Yeah,
B&D market.
because
They're
it's
putting
there,
these like mini mall things.
I've never seen a small.
No, they don't have,
It's-
they don't
they-
have.
they mainly have them south.
Before that.
Inner city, maybe.
Normally
And in
they're
California, and they
able
put them
to
in these mini malls. And it's a Walmart little store thing.
Never seen a small.
Yeah, it's just a small
They like
place.
the little monkey words.
And then they rotate them in this
Yeah.
way around.
They were a little around. But, you know, I travel around.
Did you guys decide if Biden was gonna run or not?
Pardon?
All the
I
parties.
missed that, did you guys decide if Biden is running or not?
We decided that he's
I've
holding
been to
himself
that.
in reserve, ready to pounce
That's
if
definitely.
a door of opportunity opens. So if one doesn't, he's just gonna
Back to
play cool.
state
But if Hillary were to
convention, I
get
went to-
indicted or something.
Yeah,
silly,
yeah, that would
you know,
be the
Jack
thing with
Lowell,
Hillary.
Right,
Senator's bad.
the party would say, okay, we're kind of ready
Governor.
for the eventuality.
Yeah.
Well, if she comes up with severe health problems, those would be the two big things.
Well, Biden's over Hillary.
Yeah, I know.
He was
But
supported
I
by our
mean, if she had a health need or health issue,
Yeah,
and or like when she had her concussion, and wore the weird glasses and all the rest of it.
I don't know
One
about
is in,
When she was Secretary of State, she fell.
I think February.
Remember about that at all? No? Really?
She fell?
Oh, she fell, hit her head.
Is this similar to the, she was
could
running
be
for
that,
gunfighter or
right?
not?
No, this is a different game. No, they said she fell and had a concussion, and she was wearing these really wacko
But
glasses.
they gotta be ahead of the, far
Her
enough
vision was
ahead
messed up
so
and
they
everything else,
can
and, yeah, that's fine, but, that,
feed
yeah, they said she
delegates
had-
to the national one.
If something, you
And
know,
then
if
they
you ever
gotta
all of a
be
sudden you
far
find
enough
out
ahead
that
so they can
Rubio
put
looks
the
young,
guy
he's
on
stage
the-
cancer or something.
the ballot
Yeah,
that
he's
they
not-
nominated
Anybody would
for.
get.
Yeah, exactly, so.
And
That's why you have a vice president.
our-
Yeah, 'cause-
our-
And then you got somebody,
Primaries
yeah,
in
but think
June.
about it. So there's a plan.
So it's
there's
gotta
a-
be before June, it's gotta be April or
You're right.
May or
Bernie-
could be March.
Bernie might be looking pretty
February,
good.
February.
Bernie did what?
Bernie might be looking pretty good.
No, Biden, he said.
I know, I'm just trying to twist it.
Oh, Bernie's an interesting guy, I don't know. Art likes him on the banking though.
What?
You like Bernie's position on the banking?
Oh, we need Glass Oxley to come back if we're gonna straighten out the finances, seriously.
He's right about that.
And he advocates that, but, boy,
Other than that, he views, I've said it before, I'll say it again, he views 1963 Bulgaria as an outstanding economic model. I just,
Well,
yeah.
I love when Hillary said she was gonna go after him because he wanted to put everybody on Medicare, and then Hillary said, well, how are you gonna pay for that? And I about fell out of my shoes when I heard that one. Really? You're gonna worry about paying for stuff? Where's this been hiding at? on either side.
I don't understand.
All of a sudden, they're gonna worry about, well, they're gonna get money for something?
It's not a,
Well, what he said was, in
again, it's a
answer to
political
that,
comment, it's not. Go ahead.
what he said was that your taxes will go up, but the amounts you save that you don't pay to the insurance companies will go down. So the average guy will come out better off. That was his answer.
Now,
The
this
truth of the
is
matter
very-
is that what happens if you do that, in this country, if we went to a single payer system, I would imagine when it first goes into effect, everybody would be happier than hell, because our hospitals are built, we got all kinds of MRIs and, equipment in them, we're right up to date, we're the world's top one as far as having a method of taking care of the sick in this country. And that will run along until the boys decide that they have to increase the amount of taxes to take and update things. Then they quit updating it. And then you get to a situation like Canada where to save money, you don't build any new hospitals. You start allocating the equipment, the high cost equipment over more people.
Okay.
And you get down. Well, what happens is, because we're right up to date in this country, the Canadians come down here. Anybody with any money in England does the same damn thing, they come over here. But if we go to that, 10 years from now, we'll be in the same damn shape as England and Canada and France and all those people. Well, we'll be taking care of the people. Medicine and that will be on the same level.
I guess I have to ask whether or not that assumption is pretty grandiose.
Well,
That your assumption that we are up to that and we're the best.
well,
We are. There's no damn question about
Yeah, I
that.
think there is. Just because you don't think there is, doesn't mean I don't think there is. I don't buy off on something that just says, well, we are this or we are that.
Well,
Look at the average age of individuals in the United States. We're not number one.
Well, here, Jim, it depends how you measure. I think if you say you were an oil baron like Nels, with getting checks for $8 a year or whatever, you have a lot of money, okay? You, in the US, you could probably buy access to the best.
Yeah.
And you might not be able to do that if you lived in.
You keep using the US and Canada as the two, but all of Europe, I
Well,
mean,
okay,
the
I mean,
Netherlands,
same thing is.
they are
like Art said,
right up
Right.
to.
Well, not really. In the mass, in terms of, when you talk big averages, yeah. On the edge of it, no.
Averages are
That's why,
it's just a measuring stick.
that's why you'll see Swedes, and you'll see Germans, and you'll see Saudis, and you'll see Brits.
Yeah.
And if you go down to Rochester.
You go down to Rochester, those people are running all over the damn place.
Yes, they are.
The guys that have the money. And the thing that you gotta look at.
Some
is the
people
same
are
way
going
with the
overseas
drug
for their
deal.
treatment.
Correct, correct.
That's not all one way.
You'll get people go to Mexico for cancer treatments and stuff that they can't get here for.
It's the same way
for-
with the
for
drug deal.
Kind
All
of
the same.
veterinary medicine or whatever.
The drug-
All I say is that when we say something like we are the best at this and that,
Well,
you gotta
all
question
look at
that
where
kind of stuff.
things are produced.
Beg your pardon?
No, I mean, you got, look at the drugs. That
China.
everybody, well, Dorgan for years was saying, hell, they can buy it cheaper in Canada and they can buy it
We're the
elsewhere and
best
all
at
this
making
kind of
weapons.
stuff. But who develops the drugs? We do.
Well, that's why you pay a ridiculous amount.
That's why we pay a ridiculous
Yep.
amount for them.
Yep.
And the same thing is true of all the technical aspects of of the stuff that's in the medicine.
We are very innovative.
That's right, and that's why our medicine costs more. But so if you take and put us in the same place as France or Canada or England, ultimately, you're not gonna get the development that we have.
We'll see. We'll see. We aren't the longest lived, we don't have the, you know, for the masses, we don't, you know, we don't necessarily have the best
And of
health
course,
care.
your argument is that are we the best? Because statistics say we don't live any longer, and our kids, why hell, we lose more babies. But you know, we got the best reporting system too. A lot of these other countries aren't reporting.
Well, on paper, Cuba and Red China have much better health systems than we do.
That's right.
Jim, I'm glad you're talking about as good as I did. I think we got the same bug.
Yeah.
China has the best pollution problem in the world.
No, they got no pollution.
I think it's
great.
we're
Yeah, well, it's done by the subcontractor, the
The water that comes into Beijing is crystal clear, and leaves Beijing.
Start taking averages as to how many babies you lose and how many,
Most of the
how long
Far
people
East
live. Our statistics are damn good, but the rest of them.
Well, it's not just that, there really are a real difference in
Well, look at
lifestyles.
Yeah.
You know, you got a lot of people in some countries that
It's
smoke.
been
and
having
others
bad
don't.
air quality because it's
You've
been
got
cold.
countries where, I mean, for Pete's sake, they eat
Like salt,
bacon,
salt,
yeah.
little bits of raw fish, and then here we come and have
I thought it
a
was
Angus
outrageous.
charbroiled.
When the Berlin Wall
No,
went
you get
down,
the Berlin
Wall.
it's
Just spending money on
where the
military.
police
Like
were,
that,
you know,
they-
it
Oh,
was terrible.
if you get a western.
It's really hard to make
Union,
those cross-
You got a big
That's
cockpit,
right.
like this Wasatch front there.
But
The air will be.
in general, I
you
think
sit there,
you're right.
3-4 days,
And
like,
here's-
boy, your eyes burn.
Yeah.
I mean,
Just why it's
kind of like
the inversion.
Big mountain wall here the whole
And our-
time.
I've been out there, I've rode
When
You're not likely to hit it.
ever you have.
But Fairbanks been getting a lot this year.
Okay.
Yeah, because they have a lot of people
It gets
eating
back to
with
what we were
wood.
saying, I mean, my
Yeah.
thing about
And there
teachers.
is no.
Whenever
wind,
you have
and you're in a
trouble
valley,
getting
what-
into
what's gonna
something,
happen?
Correct.
You
And then it goes 15, 20
you
below.
freeze the technology for the most part.
Yeah.
When they took it over,
Yeah,
and,
they were getting the plan, they said no one should go outside.
you'll achieve at best.
we get the wind.
Mediocrity.
It kinda-
So, you know, you're gonna freeze the technology and education somewhere in the 19 teens.
Yeah, one person in the
And then you're gonna achieve
running a
never
woodworker,
better
you
than
can sure smell it.
mediocrity.
Yep.
That's right. That's
Well,
right.
yeah, it's not just one, if you have
And
15,000 people.
Like I say, on Medicare, you know,
Yeah.
Well, old England was
Yeah,
all
really, they're all-
coal.
what else is
We're the
going
best at
on?
exporting empty cargo
What was
containers.
interesting
But
was
they
our.
put everybody on the thing, it ain't gonna
Fort
work.
Fire Power Plant.
Well, that's true. Well, you know, here's the other thing, Art,
It
too,
was
I
so
mean, I
clean,
look
you
back
didn't see
at,
anything.
always talking about that, it's.
They built it right, this was years ago.
But
Had all kinds of scrubbers and all.
that's
that
what
stuff.
scares me the most about Obamacare and those.
It's sick,
standards.
it's seen
I mean,
fall out from
look
it,
at,
it's smelling, you fall out from it.
I'd be dead right now if it wasn't for advancers in cancer.
Again,
Yeah.
if you're gonna deal with science,
I'd be dead.
Well,
That's
my
fine.
daughter had
But then what
cancer
happens?
for 8 years.
Just like with your
8
politics.
years ago, they
well,
told her
neither
she
was
had
under
3 months
investigation.
to
Yeah,
live.
for what? They
You better
could start that
get
kind of
your
rumor and
stuff
play
in order,
these political
because
games
that's
for
what's gonna
political
happen.
reasons.
Yeah,
And
and
it-
you know, if they had frozen
Well,
the
maybe-
technology and.
The other guy may have done just as
1970,
bad a
That's
thing,
right.
she just don't know.
If
So,
what,
I don't think
if
that's-
what,
And-
if what Justice
and-
Napolitano's looking at is correct.
That's such an
The
important part of
information he's getting,
what's
his
cool about the
analysis of the
medical
judge
system, not only that,
Is that she's a big.
but until fairly
We'll see
recently.
what happens.
Okay.
It doesn't
you
mean
can
they'll
make a
take it.
pretty good living being a physician.
Even if
If
they.
you're good at it, you can make. a
Even
good
if
living.
the FBI feels they have enough information, they should
And of course, the
move
problem
forward, it
with
doesn't really be part of the justice will prosecute.
he doesn't earn a damn thing
Any
until he's
place.
20.
Well, I think it's a good deal, they're doing this now, rather than after she gets
You don't earn a
in
damn thing
the
until
election,
32.
becomes nominated.
And
So the more they do now,
the
yeah.
rest of us,
the less
start
leverage
working
we
at
have.
21.
Yeah,
You know,
or 18.
or 18, you know.
Well,
So,
we'll We'll see.
There's reasons
Well,
why
if
they
you,
should
if
get.
you could, well, it's just like
what they
the argument
get.
about
Right,
Cruz's
but
status.
when you get,
Who, about what?
About Ted Cruz was born in
when
Canada.
you get
They're arguing about whether he's natural
the
born,
government
his mom
involved,
was
at
American,
least in my field,
his dad was Cuban,
here's
and
what
born in
happens.
Canada.
First
They're
of all,
arguing
they
about whether he's
say,
legally
Eligible.
allowed
We're gonna-
to run. for
Right.
president.
one way or the other, we
And
own the
what
system,
a couple of the
we have a monopoly,
lawyer
you
judges
call it
had
that,
said was,
and we're going to
that is set by
have
Congress,
salary
according to what was set by
at
Congress.
this level for this position.
That's
Okay?
right. But
Now,
they gotta start regulating it.
Right.
You take a look at what happened, we had a
They
guy.
can challenge it all
we
they
had a
want.
guy
The
who
rule is the
was,
rule. And that's, again, that's
Unless the
another
court says
political
something
thing.
else.
just taking over there.
You challenge Obama. He's
And he
president.
said, you know, I can't hire teachers at this salary.
But if they were to prove later on, then how would you handle it if they proved
So he
later
went
on
out
it was a fraudulent?
and he actually did a search in other school districts and
I would call it
offered,
fraudulent.
basically.
Well, it would have to be
half
perfectly
against
fraudulent.
salary.
Yes, right.
And you're talking about doing that after the fact. Was he a US citizen when he ran?
Yeah, down there, I know what happened, yeah.
Okay.
Why,
So- so
any,
the-
he doesn't have to be
the fact-
national born, he can be US, doesn't he?
Okay, so we
According
freeze
to
the
the
salaries.
Constitution, he does,
Right,
but that
cool,
was
we can stay
determined
within
by-
our.
I think that was
Except-
correct.
According to the,
Within
what I
5 years,
heard was, according to the
Kids aren't
Constitution,
coming
it's
into the
supposed to be
profession, they look at it and they say, well, gee,
But
this is a tough
the
job.
Congress was.
So was George
And-
Washington
and-
native born?
And
Yes.
I can't possibly
Yes.
come into the profession.
They said that,
And it's taken me 5 years to get that
Congress
master's
was the one
degree
that
in
made
this
the
area.
determination of what was
Same thing you said about the positions, right?
Right, and that's where it should.
This salary's.
Well, I
not
don't
good.
understand
So
the
then
natural
they
born
come to
stuff.
MSU.
Well, what they said was.
And they
that
say,
he had an
how
American
come you're
mom,
not graduating more
even though he was
people
born in Canada.
in a faster,
He's a.
Yeah.
more
natural
efficacious
born-
time? Well, it's tough, you know, we get
How do you figure that?
20% of our
I don't
kids that just
necessarily agree with
they
it.
just
That's
can't
what they
make
were
it, they
saying.
can't.
Well, wherever the law is,
Standards.
where the law is,
Yeah,
but-
right, and that,
but,
and
So
that's
all
what
of
they
a
said,
sudden we drop the
because of that,
standards at the
how it's
university,
defined at
though,
that
because
time
if
that
we
he was
don't
born,
drop
he
the
is a
standards,
citizen.
we're gonna,
Okay.
we're not gonna pay you unless you
Right.
graduate.
That's the rules.
Yeah,
The only
Set
way
the
we're gonna
rules.
do that is make
But
it
they're,
so
right now,
loud.
they're making a big.
And it's
stink
a
about
downward
Texas following
spiral,
laws
and you,
all
what
the
you
rest
said
of it.
about, gee,
What?
the lowest.
Just like the
denominator.
military, you know.
Common denominator is what
And,
happens.
and if you don't think that happens.
You know, you're
in
playing,
medicine,
you're not playing,
Check the Soviet
you know,
Union.
is this
Well,
person fit
Russia
up?
now.
You're playing
Check.
number
Check.
games and
Oh,
you're
Germany,
Yeah.
check.
So, you know,
Sweden,
Yeah.
check. Norway.
that's why I like Trump so well, is that,
It's
he throws all kinds of
I
stuff
mean,
out there.
unless they
Let's see
figure
what
out a
sticks
way
to the
to break
wall.
that cycle.
So, okay.
No, I'm
That's
very, I'm
exactly
very
where
glad,
we're going.
I'm very glad of Obamacare,
Right.
because otherwise we'd have been sitting at almost $100,000
You're
in debt
absolutely
for my
right.
hospital
But the
bills.
other shoe to that nobody talks about, is that if you have true socialized anything, whether it's school, whether it's medicine, the other shoe to the coverage is that you will see a downward cycle in the quality. There's no getting around it. And it, you know, I don't know, I wish there was a solution to it.
Well, you're taking
I
away
spent most of my
the
career trying to-
ingenuity of
What's your
individuals.
incentive for coming up with something new?
Then you take
Well,
away
vote for
the
Trump.
incentive.
No, I'm just saying.
Well, no, I actually, I like Trump so well, I might vote for him.
You know,
Who knows?
even our religion.
He scares me terrible.
Well, he scares everybody. But, we've had, you know,
But that ain't the way
20
it's still
administrations
set
where
up.
you haven't solved the problem with the Mexican.
Yeah, yeah.
You have the political salt to do the job.
Everything in this
Right.
earth
Does front,
is based on
will front,
What
should
happens
Trump
in a
come
class
up
when
with
I
a
stay,
political
they-
savvy and say,
everybody-
hey, I'm gonna
Yeah,
use the
doesn't
Bible
matter what
if
you-
you believe it gets
It doesn't
done.
matter what you do.
Well,
No, do I disagree with that? No, either close the damn
It's
border or no.
I'm all for closing it.
And
Well,
that's what this
you know,
earth is.
and that's all he said, everybody goes, oh dear, he's gonna do this, that. He's not gonna do jack shit, he's just gonna say, you know, well, we don't wanna let Somalis.
Now,
we don't wanna
occasionally
let,
you will
serious.
find
yeah, they do.
Well, that makes
go
sense.
out and do amazing things.
Right, we don't have an obligation to let all these people.
This is not,
You
this is
know,
not like it
Most
was
of
in
them
World
are
War
Cal-
all
II,
based on the
when
Bible
the Jews had nowhere else to go.
and,
Right.
They
Say,
did have
Jim,
other places to go.
I gotta tell Jim what I told you.
Yeah.
Okay, you missed this wonderful piece of wisdom, but this is what,
I gotta go.
what happens in a completely socialized system, and it's interesting. First of all, you have a state monopoly, okay? And anybody tries to violate that monopoly, they get punished severely. We had a guy down in Dickinson, okay, who was a new special ed director. The guy's name was Terry, I can't think of his last name, doesn't it? And he could not hire special education teachers for the salaries that were being offered statewide. Because people at that time didn't want to go to Dickinson, okay? For whatever reason, they'd rather be in my Grand Forks and Fargo. And he said, all right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to raise the salaries significantly, because I can't supply and demand.
And he's required to have those folks there.
Yeah, he's required by law to have those
Yeah.
folks, okay? And he did raise the salaries, and he went out and recruited from other districts, right? And holy shit, he did everything but lose his license, shut down his schools. The people in Grand Forks, the people in Fargo, the people in Bismarck, the courts came after him. Damn near put him out of business.
Under what grounds?
Yeah.
Well, basically, he was violating this unspoken monopoly.
Unspoken don't count.
Well, they found ways to go after him.
Well, sure you can. It's just like political statements here.
Yeah,
But
I mean-
the rule is the rule. You get in court though and you finally start, that's what the lawyers do. This is what the rule is. It's not what this imaginary bullshit is about.
Anyway, the notion was he couldn't do it.
And he was up against the fence because.
So did he do it or?
Well, no, they stopped him cold.
So now they're in violation because they don't have the.
Right, but
required-
they wrote ways to get around there, but then this is
On
what
that
happened.
deal, they killed the president, they changed the president of Dickens.
Well, that was a little different, but
Yeah,
it was,
but,
it was.
I mean,
it
So
was the
stick to your
same.
point here. Sly.
So my point is
Yeah.
that you've got this salary cap that is a monopoly system, and they said, this is all we're gonna pay for whatever, okay? This particular case.
That's not okay.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah, sure it's true.
Okay, so you're telling me that
In the
they wouldn't
state-
let him raise the salary then for those people?
Not enough to attract them away from other districts,
Well,
or to attract new kids to his place.
I don't know that there's a salary cap in place for any educational.
Well, there is.
You're a school, you're independent school district. And if you have the money in that district to pay, look at the salaries aren't the same all across the state.
Try it.
Try it.
But look what you got, you already have differences in state.
You've got
tax.
minor differences.
Yep.
But when you're talking about paying enough to make a difference, then they will come after you.
Well, they can come after you all they want.
Well, and they won.
Well, they do.
They went after, the state went after his school district.
Yeah, when you have a discussion like this, what always bothers me is they say, well, they would. You're being
No, not they
specific
would,
about
they
the
did.
issue.
In this case, they did.
No, I don't know that they did or did. I'm not arguing in your conclusion.
But they truly, but then
I'm
it
just
was
saying I
even
don't-
more interesting, so now.
But I never get the whole story.
So now you have this, here's the second half to that story.
Yeah.
So now you have this low salary,
Yep.
and because of this low salary, part of the reason he had trouble was because there weren't enough kids going into this field. It was 5 years, it was a difficult program of study, they just didn't have enough. And the fact of the matter is, many of our kids were leaving the state because they did pay a lot more in Minnesota. Okay.
That's true.
Okay, so there weren't enough North Dakota kids that stayed in the state. So then they came to us, and I happened to be in this situation. I was tangential to it in the research section.
Will you stick to the point here?
Okay, the point is, what happened was, they said, why the hell aren't we graduating more kids in this field?
Yeah.
And they said, well, it's a difficult thing. Of the 80 kids we have coming into it, we only have 70 or 80% of the kids that actually make it through the program, because it's a tough program of study. To turn out good kids, you have to take them out, you have to give them experience and all that stuff.
Yeah, stick to
So the state
where you're
came
going.
back, the ESPB said, you essentially, and the state, our legislature said, you guys aren't graduating enough people we need you to lower the standards. Now, they didn't say it in those words. We need more graduates, or we are going to start radically cutting the money that you get.
Right.
Which is gonna help with the.
So basically what we did is we made it easier to graduate. We got rid of the difficult requirements, we got rid of the tough things. And eventually we graduated more kids that were shitty. They didn't know their business, but they did that. Okay, and this cycle repeats over and over, and you have this downward spin, and if you really wanna look.
Well, that's
medicine-
not quite true. Let's go back to the education one that you're using. You have trouble getting them qualified, you did get some of them qualified, your problem was that you didn't pay them well enough, they left the state.
Right.
Well, that's not a problem. That's just response
Well, it's a
financial
problem, it's a
results.
problem if you're a school, a school district in an undesirable part of the state.
Well, it'll go to hell, and then the state you'll get on the bottom level, and you'll look at, you're a bunch of dipshits all over the world, and North Dakota schools suck, and finally the legislature will say, well, we'll have to, but that is what happened. Yes, that does happen, doesn't it? But it's still free enterprise.
Yeah, well,
those kids are able to go to a better
What you're
school.
basically talking about here is the difference between socialism and what happens under a socialistic.
No, I don't disagree with what you're basically putting at all. You get a downward spiral because you introduce a monopoly.
That's what
And then you put a lid on the monopoly to boot.
You don't pay
And
people
so
what
your
to
creativity
do, you don't
dries
get
up,
them to do anything.
and then you couldn't draw people into it, they went somewhere else. And I think that's great. You should fry with your hand in your ass.
Yeah.
That's what should
But the
happen.
thing that kind of was commanding about it was he was trying to meet the requirements.
Oh, yeah.
The only way he
Yeah.
could do it. and-
Yeah, he can do it
got-
easily.
he got
Get the
hammered.
fuck out of North
He
Dakota
got
and go to
hammered.
Kansas and become an administrator there.
But he
Dump
was-
North
but-
Dakota
but-
on their face.
But he
Well, that's
was
what he
trying
ended up
to,
doing.
Well, that
he was
is,
trying
of
to
course
take
it is.
care of the kids, but based on what he's being directed without the
Yeah.
money to do it.
There's a we don't need any more people in North Dakota. They avoid us
Well, no,
because we're a bunch of
I like that about
dumb and I said, fine, we should be.
Thank goodness the oil's slowing down.
Well, yeah, and.
I would be concerned.
The thing is, there are natural consequences. However, if you had expanded this monopoly to federally, so everybody in the country's doing the same thing.
Right.
Quality's gonna go down across
Oh
the
my,
spectrum, yeah.
and that's the thing that concerns me about,
I
that's
kinda-
the other shoe.
But we haven't been through.
Not yet.
You really want your.
I- and then it is a
So
It's
are
a-
you predicting that'll happen in 10 years or 5 years or?
I don't know how long it takes. Well, we don't have socialized medicine yet. If Bernie comes in, it might take a generation.
So was Obamacare socialized medicine?
Not far enough. You still have the option of going to Rochester and paying out of your pocket.
There were some good points in it, and those who could not get insurance now can get insurance. That's one of the good points out
Well,
of it.
yes, except you're absolutely right. I would not argue that, but there were just simpler ways to do that.
Yes, there were, but this is
And-
what
and
we got.
you-
The-
What simpler ways to do it?
Well, for example, one component, the one that they're talking about that works, is essentially Medicaid buy-in, okay? And you could have done that without the whole insurance
No, you
market
couldn't.
and everything else.
You couldn't do it because we didn't do it. You can't get over the politicians fucking around with stuff.
Right.
And so you have to look at human nature.
Well, we were doing it here in
Can't
North
we do
Dakota.
that?
We were doing it in North Dakota.
Well, I agree.
Fine. I mean, you know, to an extent, we just didn't really expand it enough, and that, it would have been great if we did that, but the point is, there were simpler solutions, but
Unfortunately,
you're right, you're absolutely
there
right, I
aren't any
agree.
solutions.
At some
Yeah.
point, people start making trade-offs, well, if I can get this bridge built, I'll vote for your damn medical thing. Yeah.
Yeah, we deserve what we have.
One of the things that Obamacare is coming up with, and that's what you're gonna find out, and that is that its service is gonna be based on outcome.
Oh, yeah, if we don't have a good
So
process.
if you can't produce a decent outcome, you aren't gonna get any service.
But you hold the
And,
treatment.
so
yeah.
you get somebody in who has got cancer, for example, And,
Say it's a high risk,
and,
it's some
the
cancer that
outcome on
it's
cancer
very
ain't
low
very good.
success rate.
Well, life
So
history
you're gonna
coverage.
find out that if this keeps going, that the amount of investment in treating cancer is gonna go down. That's what happens.
And there's just a lot of stuff like that,
Yeah.
where what you're taking.
The theory of making things come with good outcome is great. But in the medical field,
Well,
there's a lot of things that come
Frankly, it's
along
what
that
the
ain't
market,
got good
it's what the
outcome.
market does. Because what happens is, I looked at cars the other day, just because I looked at cars. And I didn't find anything that was as comfortable as my land yacht. So screw it, I'm gonna drive a land yacht for another 3, 4, 5, 10 years, whatever, till they come up with something that I can sit in and I'm comfy in it. Okay, so.
Well, you didn't try out the Suburban?
Well, Suburban is so far out of my price range that.
Well, they're hard to get in and out of.
So, you know,
Right.
eventually.
They're tall, they're hard.
Yeah, they are.
Oh, I tell you.
As you get older,
have you-
that's the
have you
issue.
driven
I know, that's why we got steps on them for my wife.
You have
Each step is-
Well, then you're not.
That,
That's
why
like
I
me,
had to do.
you insist on having a fire heat dragon that's 4 feet
Yeah,
off the
except
ground,
I can't
four-wheel
fit
drive.
in the damn
Yes.
You don't need it.
Yes, I do.
I
You
don't
know?
fit in the damn.
Not listening
thing, so screw
carefully.
it.
No, you're not listening.
You're not listening carefully.
Yep.
If,
When I get the full meal, I have to have my AR-10.
Right, and that's exactly what it
Bigger
is.
than you are.
That's
Oh,
right.
you mean, yeah.
You're not
Because
bringing on my.
you want to start
Right.
and get you point A to point B.
Yeah.
That's what
You're not, you're
I
missing
don't
the
know.
argument.
But
That's
the
the
point
flat
is,
store on the
that
trail.
if this product I
You'll
don't
save
like,
behind my
and I don't like the
blast
outcome
door.
of buying it.
Don't rain on my blast door.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's
Hey,
ways
you
more than
can't
the
do
walls
that,
do.
Art.
Don't rain
You
on my
can't
blast
do
door.
that. Remember what we were talking about with the schools?
Yeah.
There you
I
are.
don't like
You
the
know.
outcome of having this teacher,
Okay.
he's the only teacher
And now, can you
available.
change the
Yeah.
legal
Save
system?
behind my
No,
blast
there's too many
door.
guys like you out there who,
Yeah.
No, that's what.
you know, let's pass a law and say everything has to get 40 miles.
It's gonna degrade
Your car just
what
got
we got.
solid.
Big time.
Again, you're raining on my blast door, my
And
plywood.
it may
No, no,
take a
but-
while.
but you wouldn't
It may
vote for
take
that
a
law
generation
like that.
to do, but it will be created, there's no way.
And that's what it is. Is that, are you right?
Yes.
No. You're not right as far as human beings getting point A to
And
point B.
nobody,
The need.
nobody talks about this stuff.
But that isn't the need, the whole need. You're talking
I
about
listened to that
this
Democratic
personal
debate the other night.
security feeling, that this is what
Nobody
you want. That's what,
raised
that's,
these
And
issues.
that is what
security
we
is
really
more
are.
ahead on the priority chart than being happy with our neighbor.
And, you know, you could argue, well, the feds will then fund
Okay,
research.
if you're a
He
local.
wants to drive
But
the Prius.
your costs,
I'm gonna
then
laugh at
your
him
costs are
because
just
it's
as
no-
much. I mean,
He's
look, in
gonna
a
laugh at
perfect
me
world,
every
your
time,
costs would be just as
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
You're
Or more.
great, living in a democracy. You can do
So
that.
what you've done is you've taken it from,
And you get to
I mean,
vote
in a
every 4
perfect
years.
world, you've taken
Actually
the
get
funding
to
from one line.
surgically remove the president of the United States
Thank God.
through your vote. Absolutely.
No matter who they are.
No matter who they are. That's right. That's a great
You gotta figure out a way.
No, they cheat and play games, lie like that, but still.
That's why our.
Try to do that to a dictator.
Capitalism is works so
Yeah,
well.
let's go to
it
shoot
doesn't
your
work
ass.
out too good, yeah.
Producing good outcomes.
That's not the only thing, what Jim was talking about is absolutely right. You know, we have the privilege of getting rid of people we don't like.
You know,
Why?
it keeps them from becoming a dictator.
There was an interesting article the other, you probably read it, Art, in the Sunday paper. But the guy said, what really, or maybe I read it someplace else, couldn't be. What really, why people hate Cruz and what's the other guy?
Rubio, Trump.
Why the Republican base doesn't like him. One reason is it's separating the Republican, whatever you call it, the in crowd
Yeah.
from their constituents. So you have a senator that's been in a safe seat. He's been there, I don't know about hoping, but
He's like Tony, like
Senator.
Berger.
Senator's been there forever, okay? And all of a sudden, you've got a Cruz that comes into the Senate and says, this isn't going the way we like it. They're and he's an outlier. He's causing waves, causing trouble. He may not be smart, but, and all of a sudden, there are constituents in my district or my state who are saying, Joe, why aren't you raising waves too, and causing trouble. And I'm not happy with that. I'd much rather have a comfortable chair and do what I think's right.
Well, it's sometimes an interesting
Yeah.
thing, because we actually look at this policy that we're both talking about, is that this goes way back to 2,000 years ago. That's what supposedly how they came Christ. You know, he bring power from the outside of the circle, and they shortcut that.
Well, but it put a challenge to their authority and everything
Yeah.
else, yeah, their position.
It goes to show you how powerful that has been through the whole time period. Humankind, we do protect our best interest, as we see it.
Yeah, we do.
And we'll knock the next guy off if we have to.
Yes, yeah, but bless them.
Yeah, they're not nice about it. But it is a great privilege to be able to vote. if you ever
Fortunately.
get somebody.
It sure beats having a revolution every 2 years.
Do you know this oral surgeon that I'm going to, this Gossinger? I picked up his biography when I was out there checking out my appointment. He's a hotshot pistol champion.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, it's pretty interesting, right?
Well, there's one guy that comes into the loft who gets lots of attention, because he'll walk in and buy a, what the heck's it called? It's a 50 BNG, it's a Barrett, $15,000 rifle, and has no trouble paying cash. And the ammo to go with it. He's a doctor, somebody.
Yep.
Yeah.
Gossinger is this guy's name. He's
I fly in ultralight, and Howard Reed, my friend, he has a twin engine, a couple of twin engine, you know, nice
I'm not
planes.
down on him at all. I think
No,
it's
it just, seems like whoever we are, we want our pieces to buy, you know, buy pieces old, but I enjoy it.
Well, we'll see what happens this year. This is it's always an interesting election.
The last two have been very interesting, because of Obama last time.
Do you
The
think-
black and the name.
Yeah, do you think the black business may help him or hurt him? Being black?
I think it helped
It
him.
helped him,
Yeah.
because I think some people voted just because he was. Just like some folks will vote for the first
Hillary.
woman, or the first lady, or the
Yes,
first
that's
Martian,
what
or
they
the
do.
first Cuban, or whatever it is.
I think
There'll be a certain
I think
amount.
they're afraid of Hillary
I
because
wonder
of.
how Sanders is Jewish. I wonder how that will affect him.
Again, that could be a
Well,
positive, isn't it?
Sanders really fits the liberal aspect of the Democratic Party, as Cruz, for example, fits the conservative aspect of the Republican